So in the today's tutorial we are going to draw Leonardo DiCaprio, one of my favorite actors, and one of the best movies that I have watched was the Shutter Island. From movies which are more suspense and this type of things, and I literally love this actor so much. So now, starting with the tutorial of sketching Leonardo, to begin with we are going to first of all make grids. This was a technique that I tell in every tutorial of mine, that use grid techniques, which is the easiest and also the finest thing. That if you want to make a small picture into bigger one or bigger one into smaller one, this is the easiest technique. There are so much techniques also, like direct method, directional method, guidelines method. These are the type of techniques which you can use for making a particular portrait. So for this tutorial, as I am making smaller grids and this type of thing with the scales and dimensions, so this is a time-lapse video or faster video because it was a complete real-time sketch, and I have uploaded a 10 or 11 hours complete sketch in my second channel, which is Shwet Sketches 2.0. You can find out the channel link in my description box, and if you want to learn how to use a grid method, the link will be on the description box. You can check out that also. I have uploaded a complete tutorial. And if you also want to know how I use different type of applications like PixArt and different type of applications like Snapseed and any other application to make graphs on a particular portrait, you can check out that link also in my description box. So now, to begin with the particular tutorial, we are going to first of all make outlines of Leonardo. So problem with the grid method is that if you don't make outlines perfectly, your sketch will look completely horrible. Because if portraits, or the example is the portrait like high resolution picture that I am using of Leonardo, you can see on left side of your video you are watching, it is a completely full resolution photo. So if you don't use a complete high resolution picture, or you are using a smaller pixel picture, if you want to zoom out, your picture will completely look like a blur thing, or if you cannot see so much of details. So for that thing, I always recommend that use of high resolution or 4K or HD photos. But most of the time, if you are a beginner or intermediate artist, you can find out the photos, or if you are making commission artwork, you can find out the photos which are not completely detailed. So for that thing, if you don't see details while zooming out your picture, don't apply those more details, because if you don't see details and if you will apply those details, it will look completely black or flat thing. Like if you will see higher or advanced artists like 200 and 250 applications, like if you have made more and more drawing pictures like them, so they will find out more skin textures in them. And if you will apply those skin texture, and if you are a beginner or intermediate artist, if you will apply those details on your particular sketches, you will find out that direction of skin texture and so many details will be missing out. Or first of all, make 100 or 200 sketches, then go for more realism sketches, because after you will make 200 or 250 sketches, you will find out that particular shape of face, nose and different type of face structures. So after this type of things, while you are making outlines, just focus where the one box outlines are going on, because if you will make outlines of every part of the face or hairs on one go, you will miss out so many details or outlines. And outlines are the most important things while making a particular portraits. So after making outlines, you should focus where the lips type, upper lip or lower lip, this type of two parts, nose parts, lower nose parts, eyes parts, which are the outlines which show so many outlines. But while making outlines, you should focus that don't apply so much pressure, because if you will apply little bit more pressure while making outlines, so after making shades, or if you want to blend it those outlines with the face, your outline will look completely out of the sight, because the outline is more pressurized. So if you want to erase it or blend it with other parts of face, it will not blend easily, or the outline or darker parts will be visible. So while making outlines, use H or B pencil, just H or just B. Don't use mechanical or this type of pencils, because mechanical pencils are a little bit more harder or more darker. If you will apply a little bit less pressure with mechanical pencil, it is more easier. But while using a mechanical pencil, it is just 0.5 mm, and if you will apply a little bit more pressure, it will undergo the pencil or undergo the drawing paper that you are using, and if you want to erase those parts, it will be erased easily, but the marks of outline will be visible afterwards also. So after this type of things, outlines are easier as you thought, but your outlines should be more visible but not more pressurized. So for these things, just zoom out the picture that you have as much as you can. So after zooming out, just apply the details or outlines, then finally go for the details of hairs and these things. I will recommend that if you are a right-handed person, just start with left portion of drawing paper and complete it with the right time, and or if you are a left-hand person, just start with right side of page and end it to left side. I used to draw from one boxes, two boxes previously also, but most of the people just ask me that, sir, tell me how to make outlines or how to use this type of applications like everyone are using. So this is the also easy method, but technique that I have used in my previous videos was making just 2 or 3 boxes, and the reason was that after, if you make a little bit more attention to 1 or 2 boxes, you can apply more details. But if you are going for making first of all outlines and going for details, the problem is that you will miss out so many details, or if you are not advanced artist. So after making this type of mistakes, you can also use outline method just like I'm making. So after these things, we are going to focus on hairs. So as I always say that while making hairs, you should focus that what type of colors that your portrait is having. So most of the portions, 75-80% portraits are having darker hairs. So for those things, I always recommend that who are making darker hairs, use charcoal pencils. But for this particular portrait of Leonardo DiCaprio, the hairs of Leonardo are a little bit more lighter or brownish color. So to make brownish color with charcoal pencil is literally more harder as compared to using graphite pencils. So for the graphite pencil, just first of all for the base layer, just focus where the directions of hairs are going. So while applying the directions, use HB pencil as the base layer and just sharpen your pencil as much as you can with your sharpener also, or you can use a blade to sharpen your charcoal pencil in an artistic way. I have uploaded a complete tutorial how you can use a sharpener or blade to sharpen your pencils like artists. So after sharpening, you can find out the link in the description box to sharpen your pencils as an artistic way. So after sharpening the pencils, now we will focus on the base layer, which is hairs directions. So the sharpener, you should use sharpener to the pencils to a straight point way. Like if we will focus on the mechanical pencils, it is just 0.5 mm and continuous for 0.5 mm. So while using a pencil which is with sharpener, you should sharpen your pencils to a 1 or 2 centimeter long and the point should be straight. So after sharpening your pencils, just focus where the direction of hair is going. So for the left side part of Leonardo DiCaprio, the hairs are going from downwards to left side, and for the right hand side part of the face, the hairs are going on left hand side. So this type of direction you should focus, and for seeing the direction you should zoom out your pictures as much as you can so that you can find out the direction of hairs. So after making that base layer with the pencil H, you should use 2B pencil because hairs are light, right? So use 2B pencil and sharpen this pencil also. And after sharpening, one thing or one important thing while making hairs is that your hair should look like straight or just smaller hairs. What I mean about smaller hairs, that if you can focus on your hairs also, these are the tiniest hairs on your head. So to make those tinier hairs visible or look more realistic, you should not use a blending stump or earbud, this type of blending things for hairs, because if you will use blending stumps or earbuds, your hairs will look like flat thing, or it will not look like hairs, it will look like a drawing thing, and we want a realistic sketch, right? So use a sharpened pencil of 2B pencil and again use on H pencil, which was the base layer, and then for blending this type of things, use a makeup brush or paint brush. So we will discuss the next thing on part 2 of Leonardo DiCaprio. So that was all for this tutorial. If you learned something from this video, subscribe and drop a like. And comment down your question and queries regarding this tutorial. Meanwhile, take care of your loved ones too. Have an artistic day. Tattoos.